Thank you. Arigato.
The Your Own Pay Podcast Network. Inspiring, motivating, and educating entrepreneurs around the world. It's Damashe and Michael, just talking tech.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another Damashe and Michael, Just Talking Tech. We've got an exclusive episode for you today. Damashe, before we get into it, like always, they can follow me at Payown, P-A-Y-O-W-N. How can they follow you on Twitter?
I'm at Damashe, D-A-M-A-S-H-E.
Awesome. I'm excited about today's episode. What about you?
Oh man, me too. This is going to be an awesome, quick episode for you guys. And we're going to be talking about today how to choose your domain name for your business. So Mike, tell them. First, explain the domain name to people who don't quite know what we're talking about, and then let's get into why they should pick a great one.
Of course. And for those of you who don't know what a domain name is the easy to remember address that people can type in on their phone or their computer to access your website or the pages that you're hosting on the internet. Now, one of the reasons that you might be listening to this episode and saying, well, I've got my company name, but I'm not sure what I should pick for my domain name. Damashe, the first thing people think about when they think of a website is something.com. But that's not what they're stuck to, is it?
Absolutely not. And the dot part of any domain, so .com, .org, .net is called the TLD. So when we reference a TLD, we're meaning the top level domain. And these are, man, we have so many choices nowadays. I mean, .com, .org, .net, .us, all those have been around since the beginning of the internet, of course. But now we have things like .pizza, or .club, or .life. And your domain registrar will have most, if not all, of the available TLDs. And me and Michael both recommend and use Namecheap.com, which is an awesome place to go. They always have awesome sales. In fact, I own too many domains at this point because of Namecheap. But you're not restricted to a .com. And oftentimes, and it is my opinion, and I believe Michael agrees with me, that oftentimes it's best to try to choose one of these new TLDs. Yes, it's new, it's something different, but guess what? That is going to make your site stand out. If you have a site called payon.club, for example, people are going to look at that and say, oh, what .club? Okay, you've just started a conversation because they've never seen a .club domain before. They've never been to a website with this sort of TLD. So you have just started a conversation, and that is going to stick in that person's mind. This guy's site is payon.club. I should go look at that.
Not only that, but payon.club kind of fits into regular conversation. So I could say, hey, welcome and thanks for being part of the payon.club. And all of a sudden, with most of your what you see is what you get or visual editors online will automatically turn payon.club into a link, and then people can click on it and go to the payon.club. The other one that I really like is pizza. Damashe knew I was going to bring this one up there. And yes, there is a .pizza out there right now. A couple of guys that are really taking advantage of this TLD is the people over at audio.pizza. They have built their brand around the fact that the audio that's on that podcast is a slice of audio, just like a slice of pizza. So you can get very clever with your marketing and with your communications with your listeners. So your company name is important. And I think it's very important to have that in your domain name. But don't limit yourself to .com or .net or .org because, well, we're not in the 90s anymore.
Absolutely not. And just like with the audio.pizza domain, they're incorporating a nice little sort of slight joke about how the podcast is put together with slices of audio. Do something clever. Again, the main thing is, one, it is going to separate you from the rest because you're not fighting for a .com space. .com has been around since I don't know when. It's been over 20 years since the internet has been active and people have been registering domains. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret that I have discovered over the years. When I started registering domains, before there were, all these crazy, cool, top level choices to pick from, people will buy domains that they think somebody else may want and just sit on them. You know why? Because they will resell it to you. If your business is called Amazing Pasta and you want amazingpasta.com, there's a guy probably squatting on amazingpasta.com that has no intention of ever selling pasta, probably doesn't even eat pasta. But he thought about it way back when. He saw it. It was free. It was available. He registered it, and now he's just squatting on it. And if you really, really want this domain, it's going to cost you.
By the way, the amazing.pasta is a domain name. So get creative with your branding.
Wow.
Yeah, get creative with your branding and your messaging, and don't limit yourself. Anything else you want to add, Damashe, before we conclude today's episode?
I am going to grab a pasta right now. Talk to you guys next week.
You've been listening to Your Own Pay Podcast. If you've enjoyed today's episode, visit yourownpay.com/cast for exclusive content and to contact us today. We're eager to hear your thoughts and about how you're making this podcast your own. Thanks for listening. We'll be back soon. The Your Own Pay Podcast, yourownpay.com.